promise to get back to you. I'll ride 100 train, I'll fly 100 planes. 'Cause when I'm with you, girl, I'm dreaming wide awake. I finally open my eyes. I wanna bring you alive. 'Cause when I'm with you, girl, I'm dreaming wide awake. Dreaming wide awake. I finally open my mind. Anywhere that we run is paradise. 'Cause when I'm with you, girl, I'm dreaming wide awake. Dreaming wide awake.
Good morning, everybody. Happy Sunday morning. Excited to have you guys with us right here on the Betting News Network. Welcome to the All Sauce team for some saucy Sunday action. My name's Sweatpan Jesus. It's my dog, B-Sauce. That was our friend Owen River, dreaming while awake, baby. Owen, we really appreciate you sharing your music with us, man. It's been awesome to have you on the channel over the last few weeks. And vibes are high, man. Welcome to the show. Excited to have you guys with us to kick off your Sunday. Happy Father's Day to all the fathers out there. If you haven't called your dad, go get involved with your pops. If your father's still with you, if your father's not with you anymore, honor him today. Shout out to all you dads out there too. You guys might be some dads out there. We got a couple dads in our community that we love, our friend Chef and Inzi and etc. And
Trizzy probably.
Trizzy probably somewhere. But excited to have you guys with us to celebrate some Father's Day. And we got a lot of sports to talk about today, so we're excited that you guys are spending it with us right here on the Betting News Network. What's up, B? How you doing, man?
Fantastic. And chat, just know if you ever meet a half Portuguese guy that is 5'7", he might be related to Trizzy and in the best way possible. But it's a fantastic weekend, man. I'm ready to get after it.
Hell yeah, man. We
need of a throat clear. Now we're good.
We're good. Our vibes are high. We got JJ in the house.
Hey, JJ.
What's up, homie? How's it going? What's up, chat? How we living? Thanks for stopping by and hanging out. We're going to talk all about, like I said, we got WNBA today. We got MLB today that we're going to talk about with you guys for the bets that we can do. There's also racing and stuff like that. If you want to go peep those scribbles at bettingnews.com for some stuff in the Grand Prix. We're going to talk about this in just a second. Huge news in the NBA trade market. We had the first domino to fall, and it was maybe not the domino that we were all expecting. So we're going to talk about that in just a minute. We're also going to talk about tomorrow's game in the NBA Finals, Game 5, with the Oklahoma City Thunder looking to take a big lead in that series back at home. We're going to talk about Game 5 that we saw last night on the ice. But excited to have you guys with us. Like I said, I'll just go ahead and get it out of the way. I smacked an incredible parlay last night. It was incredible to get one done like that. I haven't had one like that in like months. So it felt good to finally have one of those go through the hoop. Shout out Corey Perry, man. What a goat. But big vibes, dude. Let's get after it today, man. Rinse and repeat. It's always so fun. You hit a parlay like that last night. And I woke up this morning and I was like, it just feels like another day, which is how it should be. You know, you can't get too high when you hit some parlays. You can't get too low when you miss some parlays. You just got to keep it rocking and rolling, baby.
Exactly. You'll be just as mad today if you don't hit one. You know what I mean? Nothing changes. Yesterday's doesn't make today's better, right? And it doesn't make any difference. But it was a nice rackaroony to hit the account. SPJ just to give you your flowers. Absolute. You're so fucking due. Like, so due. And it's appropriate that it came on a night we had no NBA and you got surgical in the W and then in the NHL.
It was sick because, like you've seen all the slips I've sent you. I don't post all of them. And there's been a lot that have been really close, especially over the last couple of months. And I put that one together yesterday and I was like, oh no, I got a sneaky feeling. As soon as Collier like smacked her 25 plus with ease in the first part of the day, I was like, oh, we're going to be sweating today. First half. 28 points in the first half. Hit the ladder. Insane call. They had like 52 points at halftime and 28 it came just from her. Somebody actually put the 30 plus because he was at his barber. I thought about you when he said that, and he did the 30 plus on accident. He fat fingered it, and I was like, "That's a hell of a fat finger. Let's go." Yeah, that's absolutely. Amazing. But hey, you know, like I said, you got to rinse it off and then run into today. Big day today. We're going to talk about the dub. Like I said, B's got some plays for you guys on the diamond. But let's talk about some news, dude. We had some just literally dropped, so you guys are going to kind of get kind of our live reactions to some of this stuff that we just saw in the NBA. But as JJ said, the Magic are so back, or are they? I don't know. Let's see. With huge news from Shams Charania before we got started, literally dropped on the timeline about a half an hour ago. First domino has fallen. Kentavious Caldwell-Pope, 4 unprotected first-round picks, and then a pick swap are going to the Memphis Grizzlies. And as you can see, Desmond Bane is taking his talents to Orlando to join the Orlando Magic. that's kind of all the news that I think Cole Anthony is also included in that deal as well. So Cole Anthony, 4 unprotected first-round picks, a pick swap, and then obviously Kentavious Caldwell-Pope for Desmond Bane. Like I said, first domino. We're going to probably get a lot more of these over the next couple of weeks, in the next month or so, as the postseason is fully upon us, with the NBA Finals about to finish, and then we're going to go into the offseason with some crazy stuff. This was not the first domino I was expecting. I don't think that you were expecting this one either. Thoughts? What do you think about this deal?
Well, a couple things. One thing I'll say is I haven't seen a single Magic fan on my timeline that is upset about this trade. You know what I mean? Which is nice to see. The fans are excited, and as they should be, with this, how this Magic team has played since drafting Paolo Banchero. But 4 first-round draft picks for your third option. It's not about, yes, Desmond Bane, is he worth that? Whatever, we can talk about that. But what they acquired is their third option on the offense, right? Yes, they need 3-point shooting, but 3-point shooting isn't necessarily going to be a need that is fulfilled by just one guy. They still need to put a few more shooters around there. I think they need to develop that part of their game. Love the trade for next season. But 4 first-round draft picks, that's a tough pill to swallow. And it's a very, very tough position to put your franchise in, especially with young guys like Paolo and Franz, who, yes, you want to compete next year, but these guys are probably going to be like 8, 9-time All-Stars, if not more, right? So they're going to have a very long, healthy career and hopefully play together. That's a lot of draft capital to give up for such a young team. And you put yourself in a position like New York is in right now, right? It wasn't really the Karl Anthony Towns trade that has put them in this position, but the 5 first-rounders that they gave up for Mikal, their third option, is now kind of looking like, what the fuck are we doing?
Yeah. I mean, I see what you're saying from a math perspective, and obviously we're not going to see how this plays out for the picks perspective until way down the road. And most of these picks, maybe they don't actually play out. I mean, obviously the Thunder, we have the perfect example. They got all those picks, and one of them turned into Jalen Williams for the Paul George deal or whatever that is. So, these things happen and they turn into players. Sometimes the picks just get traded again, and then it doesn't really turn into anything. But just from a player perspective, I think it's interesting because, like you said, Paolo, we were talking about Paolo last season as a possible MVP candidate, the way he started that season. And then obviously his season got derailed with that injury. But, I mean, him and Franz are definitely a bang-bang 1-2. But what was the one thing that this team really struggled with last season? Shooting the basketball. They really struggled scoring with Paolo in the lineup and with Franz in the lineup. And then without them in the lineup, they were really anemic offensively. So obviously that kind of solves that issue because you bring in a guy who can get you 30 on a night. He can shoot from deep. He's definitely a floor stretcher and is an offensive weapon. And he's a good defender too. So he's a good all-around player, good ball handler as well. But I don't know how they fit all together. We're going to see how it plays out. Obviously, we're going to see maybe this means that one of those two – I don't think Paolo's going to get traded, but maybe this means that they're going to move on from Franz and bring in another separate situation or something like that. I don't think so, but I like the move. I think it's going to be fun. It's going to make – we talked about this team needing to make – I said it – was it or last week, I think, when I saw that the Orlando Magic were freeing up some space, and I was like, they could use a guy like KD to come in to score because they need scoring so desperately. But I think that it's going to turn into a situation where Bane is kind of the second choice, and I think Franz will be that kind of third swing option, and then maybe that might hinder his development and he ends up getting traded later. But I think Bane's going to come in and be the second option to Paolo starting off, in my opinion, just looking at the math. I don't think Bane's going to be their third choice.
I don't know. I kind of disagree. I think Franz is going to be their second guy. And I think he showed that last season, especially when Banchero went down. He led the offense. He ran the offense a lot of times as a great point forward. You got a guy like Jalen Suggs, right, who's still on that roster. We're not talking about him because he was injured for a majority of last season. But he's going to come back next year healthy and ready to play as their best defender. I do think that you can't go away from Franz. Bane wasn't the second option on his team with the Memphis Grizzlies. How does he walk into Orlando and become the second option? You know what I mean? I
think he was when Ja was out, he was the guy.
But he was the guy because he had the ball in his hands. When Ja's out there, it's Ja, JJ, and then Bane, in terms of pecking order on that team too. And you can see it in terms of usage. Right? He's never been a guy that sees second type of usage guy unless there's somebody outside of the lineup. So I like the move. I think he's a great player. He's a great defender too. So Usually when you add shooting like this on a team like Orlando, you give up defense, right? Like when the Milwaukee Bucks added Dame Lillard, they gave up defense, right? You have to make that choice. You don't have to make that choice with Desmond Bane. You add shooting, you add a scoring option, and you had a guy that could run the second unit when Franz and Paolo have to go to the bench.
I mean,
like,
I
the
think
move is good. The cost is high. That's where I sit.
I think that's more where we're at as a market. Like the Luka deal outside of all of it, like this is kind of par for the course right now for superstar players being on the move. Like I think that it sucks. And like, yeah, we can look at it and go, that's a lot of picks, but like you got to get over the line somehow. So I feel like it's kind of more the market versus the actual cost or the actual worth. I kind of agree with you, but I also just like they wanted to get this deal done, so they needed to do what they needed to do. I think it's going to be interesting to see how the dynamic plays out between these three players, like you said, because I think that my opinion of Bane offensively is maybe a little bit higher than yours is based upon, but I mean, I feel like what you're coming from is more of a usage perspective versus a talent perspective, and I feel like that he could be like Suggs is probably their starting point guard, especially with. But Bane can be a starting level point guard in the NBA, a scoring option.
He's been a great shooting guard too. Like, he's been fantastic 100%. In that role, especially like I said, Suggs is not a guy that's going to take a lot of shots on this offense. No. So like Bane's going to see his, and you don't bring in a guy like this who's now locked in up until 2029, I believe, to just kind of sit around there and do nothing, right? KCP, you guys swung for the fences. He came in and didn't shoot the fucking ball. Bane is not coming here to do that.
No, I think this is going to be we can both agree we like the Magic a lot before this trade because we're both big Paolo fans and also the way that Franz is developing. And we just like this team as a whole defensively as well. But they needed this injection of offense. So I'm excited to see how this plays out. Also, they got some kick-ass New Jersey. Desmond Bane hit the jersey jackpot, brother. He went from the Memphis Grizzlies alternatives, which is my favorite alternative in the entire NBA, to possibly my second favorite alternative with what the Magic are going to be doing with their kits this season. So Desmond Bane, huge dubs on the kit on the jersey. I know. I went to the kit. Two huge bangs for Desmond Bane on the jersey department. Went from one incredible jersey to another. So shout out to you for the fashion. But I think it's going to fit nicely in Orlando.
Two things, like in regards to the trade, less so about the players. I think this is also another good move for the Magic, just because next year the East is wide open, right?
Yeah.
You have a beat up Celtics team, a Cavaliers team that looks like it could be making a bunch of moves, right? Despite winning 64 fucking games. Pacers are the team that came out the East as a 4th seed this year. It's wide open next year, and I like them taking the opportunity now rather than picks over the next 4 to 5 to however many years, right? I love that move. I will also say this. I just tweeted this. I don't know if I might probably be off my rocker, but I think the 4 first-round picks that the Grizzlies just acquired brings them into contention for KD. I know KD didn't put them on their list. He's got Miami. He's got Houston, San Antonio. But it doesn't matter who the fuck is on his list. If the Grizzlies come in with a huge fucking offer that looks towards a future that a Suns team doesn't have right now, it could make like waves. And they wouldn't have to give up a lot of their own assets now that they just acquired all of this. And you got JJ, KD, John Morant. That's the team that contends in the West.
Yeah, let's swing it and talk about the Grizzlies side of things, because you give up Desmond Bane, which was a franchise cornerstone over the last 3 or 4 seasons. Get a lot of picks in return, which is great for either usage of those picks or for capital to pass on in a deal like you just mentioned. I don't know if they're going to get KD, because I don't know if KD wants to go to Memphis, to be honest. I think that KD's at the point in his career where he really wants to predetermine which market he goes to. I can see it. It would be fun. You're right. Him and Ja together would be if Ja, can stay healthy. That would be a really nice 1-2 punch. And then obviously JJJ as well. But I think that this is definitely going to be a huge transition period for this team. We've seen this team compete over the last 2 or 3 seasons, not necessarily last year, but the season prior to that, with really kind of pushing the top part of that Western Conference. But the West is so deep now, and I feel like that this might be an accepting for them, unless they swing for the fences and get like a KD type player, which I could see. But if they don't do something like that, I feel like that this is going to start the transition of their rebuilding their franchise from the ground up. They fired their head coach going into the.
Or do they still look for a new coach?
I don't know
Chat?
100%
You
for
guys let us
sure.
know.
Chad, help us out if I think they did. I'm not 100% sure though. But anyway, they fired obviously Taylor Jenkins, which is a huge signal that we're looking for a new direction. They obviously brought in his name is escaping, Thomas. I can't remember his last name off the top of my head right now. But
Right?
yeah,
Asolo?
what is it? Isolo?
Asolo, something like that.
Yeah. Which apologies, I just don't have the information in front of me right now, and I can't remember. But he came in and obviously started something new to kind of get them into the playoffs. They got waxed in the playoffs because that was just going to happen as the 10th seed. But then what is going to happen with this franchise moving forward? I mean, like you said, you've got a lot of picks. You got Ja, but like, can you build your franchise around a guy who you can't rely on to be healthy and also with the off the court antics stuff too? Maybe that is going to kind of go away a little bit, but can he stay healthy enough to be a superstar player every single season for the next that you've built your franchise on for 5 years? Is JJJ going to be that guy, or are they going to have to totally start revamping and maybe look to get some players in the draft or bring in a superstar like the KD type stuff? I don't know. I feel like there's a lot of question marks now for this franchise with this move, and I think this move signals to me that they're starting the rebuild now instead of waiting and kicking the can down the road. You're muted.
Sorry. I agree. I two mute buttons confuses me. But I agree. I think it's going to be interesting to see. And what they do next is really going to show us which way they're headed. You know what I mean? Like you said, if they swing for the fences, we know that they still want to contend. If they don't, maybe it's time to wrap it up on this Ja Morant, JJJ iteration of the Grizzlies and look toward the future.
Do you think that, since we're just kind of talking about it, do you think that Ja Morant is going to get traded?
I don't. I do think that the Grizzlies are a team that's looking to contend next year. And I think they're going to make another trade, but I'm not sure what it's going to be yet. I don't think that they're ready to give up on this team yet, just because Ja hasn't been healthy. You know what I mean? And because of that, it's always like a what if kind of situation. And now you just traded Bane. I don't think it's a signal that they're giving up. I do think that they're going to, there's another move, and we'll see later this summer.
I think you got to go one of two ways. You got to either bring in a superstar now, like you said, like a KD, like a guy we don't know right now who's possibly on the move. That could be a good option for this team. Or, I mean, I wouldn't hate trading Ja, because right now he still has stock or value, I guess. He still has, in a lot of people's eyes, he still has superstar value, right? So you could get superstar value back for him. If he has another season though next year where he plays 50 games and doesn't play a full season, gets hurt, has some off the court stuff that fucks him up or something, then the value gets shot, and then you can't get anything back for him, or like you have not as many suitors, I guess. So I don't know. I feel like I would feel a little more like if the right offer came along and you are looking to like totally turn this franchise over and like start from scratch again, or you get a trade of a guy who you feel like could come in and maybe do better than Ja's doing right now. I'd listen to that trade, just because, again, for the value. Like, you have one more bad season, or you have one more season where you underperform, and then that value is kind of gone. So
I feel like the market, like, despite being a fantastic point guard, I don't think the market's really there for him right now. Like, as far as a team that's looking to make that move to change their franchise, right? But we'll see.
This is true too. You have to think about what it means to the franchise. Obviously, the Luka trade, we saw what happened with the Dallas Mavericks, and we'll see how that continues to progress down the road. But you have to think about it too, what it means to that city. That city really likes him. They really love Ja down there. He loves playing for them too. So I think it would also signal that they are seriously just flipping it all upside down and starting from scratch again.
I think Zion. I think the Pelicans are ready to push the self-destruct button. Traded BI, right? Looking to trade Trey Murphy. They've made it known what they want. I think Zion's going to be a harder asset to trade right now with everything that's going on with him, the case. And, I haven't heard anything since everything came out. But I can see Zion being on the move. It's just who's going to take a chance on him right now. And honestly, just because Ja, I feel like is very unlikely to move this season.
Interesting bringing up both of those guys, because of all the players in the NBA, I feel like both of those players are like the same player in like talent through the fucking roof, the ability to beat talent when you're on the court playing actively. Both of them have the most, I would say, arguably top 5 in talent in the NBA right now. from like a game-changing devastation athleticism. Like nobody scares you more than Zion when he's fully healthy. And then just from like a athleticism perspective, I know there's a lot of great scorers and obviously stuff like that. And then Ja, when he's healthy and when he's cooking, he's tough to stop too.
Yep.
But both of them have so much baggage in association to what they bring to the table, either health off the court, but I keep on saying off the field, health off the court, both. And they kind of fall in the same box. So it's interesting to see. Maybe we see in a couple seasons, maybe they both have fully healthy seasons and they kind of push all this stuff past them. And it's maybe like stuff that we don't know legally. And then they move on and they, top 10 players in the NBA because they have the talent to be that, or they just kind of fall off a little bit. Interesting to see. And I do agree with you, though. I think the Pelicans probably are going to end up moving on from Zion if they can get something back for him.
Yeah, it's just all about what can you get back for him. Right now, it might not feel like a lot. That's the issue there. And Pat, we are on the way. As soon as the show's over, all right, we are on the way.
Let's go.
SPJ, you get the keg, I'll get the whiskey, all right?
I'll get both. I hit a nice parlay last night. I'll treat you. Let's go. Absolutely. We appreciate you guys being here. Thanks for stopping by. That was some news for you guys. As you guys we just talked about for a little bit. Desmond Bane is now a member of the Orlando Magics. The Orlando Magic. It's a little early still, and I slept in a little bit just because I celebrated some last night. So forgive me. All right, let's talk about a few more things we saw yesterday, and then we'll jump into today. This game just started. I forgot to say this at the beginning because I was excited, but I already bet Marina Mabrey PRA chat, so keep me posted if that was a shit bet or not. Marina Mabrey plays for the Connecticut Sun. I got her over 26.5 PRA. That game literally just tipped off the last 10 minutes ago against the Sky. So playing her former team, the Sky are the rest of the WNBA season, brother. As you get deeper and deeper into it, just trust me, just fade the shit out of the Sky. Just fade the Sky. Anybody they're playing, take the best player on the other team. Whoever shoots from deep, whoever scores, just take the other player because the Sky are literally they are the wizards. They're the wizards of the WNBA defensively.
Chicago really going through it, man.
Really,
at least they got the Cubs. The Cubs are contending.
Cubs are cooking. But
last for the Cubs, I don't know why.
No, absolutely. Let's talk about what we saw last night here. Stanley Cup Finals, Game 5 last night. The Florida Panthers dismantled the Oilers in Rogers Place last night. It was Florida from start to finish. The Oilers never really looked like they were going to get into this game. I know you're an Oilers guy. Sook was very happy that the Panthers got the job done. I obviously watched this game because I needed Corey Perry 3 shots, and he literally got it for me on like the last 10 seconds of the game. Also scored, which is incredible too.
He catched the point, which was fucking phenomenal at the end.
Yeah, good shout out to you for that one. Yeah, for sure. I don't know, man. This might be done in 6. I was thinking that this might go 7, but after what we saw last night from the Oilers, they looked tired. They looked out of sorts, and they looked like the slower team. I know there was only the one day they made a big deal out of this, and we've talked about this since the beginning of both playoffs, but there was only one day in between games in this round, whereas there's been 2 previously going up to now, and it showed. I mean, the Oilers looked very, very, very tired. They looked a step behind, and the Panthers took advantage. So I know you're sad because you're an Oilers guy, but what is your kind of takeaways from what you saw from that game?
Exactly what you just said. They looked fucking tired. It's the most Jekyll and Hyde shit that I've ever fucking seen with a hockey team. They come out and they look fantastic at times, and then they come out and they look like, how did they make it this far, right? Oh my God, it was beyond frustrating last night to watch this team fucking just give it away like that. You know what I mean? It was so frustrating to watch the way that they were playing. It didn't feel like they had any of that fire that they had go after they went down 2-0 early in Game 4. Game 4. It didn't look like any of that was on the table or what they looked like when they went down in Game 1. They looked dejected and defeated the entire time. And the 2 games that they've really lost in this one, heavy-handedly, not the overtime, they've lost really bad now. 6-1 and 5-2. Is that what it was? Come on. Right? McJesus. We can't call you McJesus if this is what we're going to have to fucking do every fucking time we get to this point. Why do you guys need to get your fucking teeth kicked in before you wake up and play hockey?
Well, I mean, unfortunately, I don't really blame McJesus whatsoever. He tried his best, but they have a goaltending problem. They've had a goaltending problem for a while. Obviously, Skinner was the issue in Game 4. They ended up coming back and kind of rectifying that with Picard, and he was great to end off Game 4. But yesterday, he was pretty meh as well. A couple of the goals that they got were because he didn't really do a good job of getting back and stopping the puck from. I don't have all the. I'm pretty deep into the hockey bag, but my vernacular sometimes is not great. He didn't get back to stop the puck from swinging around so then they could forecheck. And so then the Panthers were in the zone and he didn't do a good job of that. And that was something that they commented on the broadcast. And that ended up coming back to bite them on one of their goals. I can't remember which one it was. I think the fourth one maybe. But we got to talk about Marchand, dude. He's been incredible. That one goal was just nastiness last night, man. The second one was kind of a little bit of luck, but the first one was just disgusting. And again, he got past, I can't remember who it was, but he got past the first guy and then beat Matthias Ekholm, looked a step slow. They looked a step slow all game. Like that was just kind of the game it was. It was just they could never quite get up to pace, and the Panthers just kept coming at them, and they just they couldn't keep up. Man, our buddy Betsky has a 21-1 ticket for him to win the Conn Smythe, and he's now plus 300. So,
I mean, it's got to be him if they win, right?
I would think so. I mean, I can't give it to Barkov. Like he hasn't been good enough. He's been good, but he hasn't. And Bennett's been great too, but he kind of didn't do a lot in this last game. I mean, you got to give it to Marchand.
Game-winning goals, shorthanded goals, and it's not a postseason final. Or a MVP. It's a Stanley Cup MVP. That's what the Conn Smythe Trophy is, right?
Yeah, it is the Stanley Cup Finals MVP. It's not your total. It's not the whole playoffs. Brad Marchand's 37 years old, 5 games in this Stanley Cup Finals, obviously. He scored 6 goals, and he's had 2 game winners at 37. I saw somebody post this on the timeline. This might be the best in-season NHL rental trade of all time because, it's like, it's the whole playoffs from Webby. I thought it was just – I thought the Conn Smythe was just the Stanley Cup Finals. Are you sure, Webby? We have a smart chat, so they probably know, and I'm not looking at it actively right now. Actually, let me just look it up real quick because I want to see.
Where's Shaggy? Fact check us.
Yeah, right. He's usually good about that. Live Conn Smythe Trophy. Conn Smythe Trophy is awarded annually to the most valuable player in the team during the National Stanley Cup playoffs. So it's the whole playoffs. So it's not just the Stanley Cup Finals. It's the whole playoffs.
Thanks, Chat.
Well, that's why McDavid won it last year, but they didn't end up winning the cup because he was the reason he was their MVP for the whole playoff run. I think it's interesting that they don't have a Conn Smythe in the NBA. Like they have the NBA Finals. They do it each round. Yeah. Like they don't have that in hockey.
It's literally called the Finals MVP too. So.
Yeah. Well, anyway, we'll see what happens. Game 6, maybe the Panthers, as they said last night on the broadcast, the Cup's going to be in Florida tomorrow or Tuesday. Sorry, on Tuesday, the Cup will be there, regardless of if it gets actually handed out or not. The Cup will be in attendance in South Beach as we head back to Florida for Game 6 of that series. Anything else you want to talk about for the hockey?
Edmonton, man, just don't let them. Don't let them just fucking.
I mean, as a selfish hockey fan, I would love to get a Game 7. So, it would be great. But let's talk about the NBA, and then we'll talk about our bets for today. Chat, we're going to do a giveaway, but we're going to do it tomorrow. We don't have producer Sook with me today, and I hate running the Ducks by myself. It's just
don't tell Sook that.
I'm not going to tell him. He'll be back Monday tomorrow and be like, no. But in honor of me hitting my parlay yesterday, we'll do a giveaway on BetSpresso tomorrow. So be sure to tune with us tomorrow. Forgot to say this earlier as well. This show is brought to you by our sponsors at BetOnline, and we're getting a huge giveaway right now with BetOnline for the next 2 weeks. You've still got about 10 days to get involved with this. It's the Summer Sipping Giveaway, chat. Get involved. All you got to do is deposit in your BetOnline account, or if you don't have a BetOnline account, just join with the QR code you'll see in the top corner of the screen in just a second. Deposit into your account. It's one of the best lines in the business. We work with them every single day, and you get an opportunity to win 2. We're going to give away 2 of these bad boys right here, some sipping tequila with some glasses. It's really nice. I have one myself. They're really, really, really fancy. We're also going to give away $100 dropped into your BetOnline account. And we're going to give away something from our store as well. So it's a huge giveaway. All you got to do is deposit into your account to enter, and you will have the code right here in the top corner of the screen to get involved if you have not already. let's talk basketball. Let's talk about what we saw in Game 4, and then we can talk about what we're going to see possibly in Game 5.
City Light always gets me. He actually
Every
makes
time.
me laugh out loud audibly once per stream.
Hey man, it says I don't know, it might be a girl. I don't know. I don't know if it's a girl or a boy. I'm not sure. But,
Sometimes
hey,
he say anything about NZ too. It just gets me, man.
we love you.
Love you,
We love
man.
you, Ghost. Man / lady / we love you, Ghost. We'll just call you Ghost. Game 4. We'll talk about Game 5. I'll give you the lines in just a second. But what did you kind of take away from what you saw in Game 4? We talked about it a little bit yesterday on Bespresso, but now we can kind of gab a bit more about it. What was your biggest takeaway from that Thunder win?
Pacers finally found out what it feels like to get fucked. That's what I found. That's what it felt like. They have been doing it to everybody throughout the entire postseason. They did it to the Bucks. They did it to the Cavs. They did it to the Knicks. And then they got a big dose of their own medicine. But honestly, it wasn't as electric because if Scott Foster wasn't there, that shit was not happening. Like, the reffing was atrocious in that game. 5 steps on fucking jump shots, push-offs on the exact same shots. Oh my God. Scott Foster, absolute masterclass of fucking bullshit. Sorry, I had a lot to say yesterday, but I didn't want to make it about the fucking NBA. But that was atrociously reffed. Oh my God. Tyrese Halliburton is getting mugged. Like, they're pushing him open hands, 2 hands. They are on top of him. Caruso is on him like a backpack, like the backpack Draymond wears when shooting threes. What is going on? I need answers. And going back to like I said this before the game, this game is so fucking important because what just happened, home court just shifted right back to the Thunder with 3 games left in this series. And that's not a place you want to be, man, if you're the fucking Pacers.
Yeah, they pissed that game away, unfortunately. And like you said, they did get a dose of their own medicine, which was fun to watch from a basketball fan perspective if you don't have affiliation either way. But we've been talking about this with this Thunder team, and you and I respect this Thunder team for how good they've been all season long. But this has been my biggest gripe with this team all season long. And Chris Finch said it when they played Minnesota midseason. He said it perfectly. He said, they're playing the Thunder is so frustrating because they are allowed to get away with so much defensively, so much contact, so many fouls from Dort and Caruso especially. And then if you even touch Shea on the other end, it's a foul. It's very poorly officiated. They've done a good job up until Game 4 in the NBA Finals of, I think, doing a decent job of making it fair both ways, which we've seen some good basketball games in association to that. But this was the first time that kind of came back into the fold again from what we saw regular season and some portions of the postseason as well with this team. I mean, SGA like pushes off on like almost every single play. And they don't call it a lot. And they don't call it a lot because they all do it. But like I've seen some Thunder fans trying to like say that the Pacers doing it too, posting videos about it. And I'm like, just say you don't watch basketball, man. Like, these are not push off plays. Like, SGA is extending his arm almost the entire way on almost every single step back he takes. As a person who took his points, I'm glad he did that so he could get to the line more. But as a fan of basketball, like it's hard to watch sometimes.
Like, come on, man. You got to ref the game both ways, the same way both ways. You can't continuously do this. And I was really hoping that the Pacers in their home building, we wouldn't see something like that. And like you said, yes, we both had tickets for Shea. I was texting SK. I was like, dude, can we – I think he had 2 free throws in the first half or 0 free throws in the first half. And I texted him at halftime when Shea was kind of like looking whatever. I was like, can we please get some fucking free throws for my boy? And then at the end of the fourth quarter, I'm like, not like this, man. Not like this.
Not like that.
Yeah, that wasn't terrible.
This is true too, man. We've been talking about it all season, but especially in the last couple. So bad in that regard. Yeah, but we can both agree the reffing was terrible in that game. I hope that we get a better reffing performance in Game 5, and then that's not what we're talking about, and we're talking about the actual basketball. But to talk about the actual
Tim Donaghy, he was on. I think it was another sports book. I won't mention their name. I think they do sponsor us though. But he was on a podcast by them, and he was talking about what it's like in these games and in the playoff games. He's like, the league will bring the refs into a room. Now, obviously, whatever I'm going to say, I'm just repeating what he said. Take it with a grain of salt. He also doesn't have the fondest memories of the way they left him out to dry and he had to go to jail while nobody else did. But he's literally saying, like, they put you in a room and they make you watch film on what they want you to focus on that day. They'll sit there, they'll give you their agenda, and he's like, 99% of the time, it was geared towards extending the series and the team that needed to extend the series. And he mentioned a couple examples. He's like, there was this one series with Houston. They were down 2-1. That series went 7. But again, I don't mean to feed everyone's tinfoil hat conspiracies that the NBA is rigged. I don't think it's rigged, but I do think that it's nudged in certain directions sometimes. You know what I mean?
Well, you mentioned it when we were talking about this a couple days ago about the reffing is swayed, where by the arena you're in, by the situation, by just the fact that some refs don't like certain players, so then they sway their opinions in there, and it's hard in those situations because refs are people too, so it's part of their job to put their emotions aside. But in the heat of the moment, sometimes the amount of technicals you see sometimes where I'm like, you didn't want to fucking give that guy a tech. He just pissed you off. And so you gave him a technical. Like, that was not a technical play, really. But yeah, it wouldn't be surprising to me whatsoever. And because that, of course, happens, I don't think that that's like necessarily great. And I think it happens in all leagues. Like the NFL does it. I think they point out things that they want to kind of hyper focus on, especially when you get into the playoffs, when certain teams that do certain things to make sure that the game is at least, the product looks a certain way. And because
this is the WWE, but it ain't kosher.
No, it's not. But all right, so moving past the ref stuff, because we could probably talk about that for a long time. But the game itself, SGA, regardless of, you got to just ignore the chat, dude. You can't keep looking. He's just gonna keep getting you. You just got to ignore it at this point. The SGA was great in the fourth quarter. Mm-hmm. He did step up. Yeah, he had some plays that were questionably officiated, but he still made every shot when they needed him. They needed those 15 points from him in that fourth quarter to win that. Yeah.
The 3 that he hit at the end of the fourth quarter, that was huge.
Massive. So he stepped up big time, and he was great. And obviously played like the MVP, and they needed him to. I mean, he had been a little ghost mode the last portions of Game 4, and then portions of Game 3, and then leading up to the fourth quarter in Game 4, he was definitely making me sweat those 33.5 points. Got there in the end. What do we think that we're going to see from an adjustment perspective going into Game 5 now? Like you said, Pacers have now lost any advantage they had from a home field or a home court perspective. 2 more games left in Oklahoma City, so they got to steal one of them. 9.5. I'll bring up the odds. I actually have it here. We can look at it and kind of swinging and talking about this game tomorrow. We'll talk about it more tomorrow on Bespresso, but we can kind of gab about it now. Here's the lines right now. 9.5 point favorites are the Thunder back at home. 224 point total. Lowest one we've seen so far in this series. Pacers plus 9.5. You got any preliminary thoughts of what you're kind of thinking about looking at this game going into what we saw after Game 4?
Whole lot of points, but what's interesting to me is that it's shorter than what we saw in Games 1 and 2. Right? We saw, I think it was at 10 in Game 1, and then it went up to, was it 10.5, 11 in Game 2?
11.5, because we both bet it and it didn't hit.
But I don't know. It feels like a lot of points. I think this Pacers team is going to come in angry. I don't think they're going to be happy about the way that the last game went. They're a team, like I've said, that has performed well on the road. They have both scoring-wise and defensively. I think that they've been fantastic and been like right in stride with the Oklahoma City Thunder this year, and honestly making them look like the Thunder made a lot of other teams look this year. So I do think that they've got a chance in this game, and I think 10 points is a whole lot of points. So I'll be tapping in.
Yeah, I like the 9.5 too. I just think at this point I'm just going to probably take the Pacers on the dog line for the rest of the series, however long it lasts, if it's all 3 games or if we only have 2 more left. But I hope they can win this game. But regardless of that situation, I think they're going to win Game 6 back in Gainbridge Fieldhouse. If they win tomorrow, then maybe it's a different situation because the Thunder will have their backs up against the wall, obviously. But if the Thunder end up winning Game 5, Gainbridge Fieldhouse for Game 6 is going to be rocking and rolling, regardless. Friday night too. So tomorrow is oh wait, excuse me. No, it's not Friday. It's Thursday, I think. Because the NHL Stanley Cup Finals Game 6 is or Game 7 would be Friday. If they have a Game 7.
Probably Saturday then.
Let me look. Because I want to know for sure what we're looking at here. I know obviously Game 5 is tomorrow. So we got that. Just want to look at when the next game would be. Just bring it up for you guys, and then we'll talk some bets for today.
Oh yeah, we have some of those too, chat. Don't worry.
We do. We do. Game 6 would be Thursday, and then Game 7 would be Sunday if there is a Game 7.
Sunday.
A week from today. So Monday, tomorrow, Game 5, chat. Pacers back in Oklahoma City. Game 6, which will for sure happen regardless of what happens tomorrow, will be Thursday, Juneteenth, actually. And then Sunday, June 22nd, Game 7, if necessary, will be back in Oklahoma City. Oh, yeah, chat, keep us posted on what's going on in the WNBA. Is she really on triple-double watch right now?
Who?
Angel Reese.
What?
Apparently. How's Maybury doing? She doing anything, chat? I bet on her.
Chat, also letting you know this is an absolute donation, but I have coin on Lewis Hamilton to win the Canadian Grand Prix today. Don't laugh, chat. Don't laugh.
How do you spell Lewis?
Lewis. And it's Fenway Park. That's where the Red Sox play.
Nice. Well done, sir.
I thought you would have asked me by now.
No, it's okay. I'll let you live a little bit. I missed the Queen Thornton last night. I was busy watching the Oilers suck. Yeah. Oh my God, Thornton was fantastic, Magic Man. I bet her double. I also sprinkled her double. Yeah, I forgot to text you that, but I didn't want to send you the green ticket afterwards. But her double was like plus 850. And she third straight double. Yeah, Chad, keep us posted. Mabry's doing good. That's good. And Angel Reese does have 4 assists, 6 boards, and 6 points. So she is kind of on triple-double, maybe even thinking about it a little bit. Still first half as well. So anything else for Game 5? We're going to talk about it a lot on BetSpresso tomorrow, and V and myself will be there with you guys with Shaggy. So we'll have chances to talk about that tomorrow a little bit more. Anything else you want to mention before we jump into today?
Not really. Not towards the NBA. Let's talk about some bets today. I know do you have some more in the WNBA?
Oh, yeah. 2 more games today.
I want to ask you about as well. So let's jump into it.
Let's get after it. I know you've got some plays on the diamond you want to mention as well. But yeah, 2 WNBA games. Well, 3. One of them's happening right now. You guys just talked about that. The Dream taking on the Mystics, and then you got the Mercury taking on the Aces. I didn't look this up before I labbed this game, so let me just double check. I can't remember if these are Commissioner Cup games or not. They are. So both of them are Commissioner Cup games. We saw some great basketball yesterday. Caitlin Clark made her return, and she was fantastic. Aaliyah Boston obviously got the job done for me with her double-double and her PR, and they smacked the Liberty, which was cool to see. And then we saw some great games in the evening as well as the Valkyries. Shout out to you. You texted me last night. We talked about it on the show. The Valkyries plus 9.5. Free queso. They ended up winning that game outright.
Keep the points.
Keep the points, baby. Are you a big fan of this Valkyries team now? Or are they your kind of little WNBA team you're going to be following?
Sort of a little bit. Honestly, what it is me kind of like looking and reading lines. I feel like after listening to Dave kind of pop on and talk about it the other day, he's like, this is a soft league. The lines are soft, and we have sharps betting it up and down. Now, I would love to have access to the lines like Dave does, and maybe I could pick his brain a little bit more to see where some sharp money's coming in. But I do think that this is a spot where there's so many unknowns here with the Valkyrie, like 10 points for a team at home, right? Seattle was coming off a huge win the other night over the Lynx, right? They gave the Lynx their first loss of the season. So to me, it felt like the same thing in the NBA. You have this emotional high where you beat this Lynx team, right? And they looked fantastic. Now you coming in against a Valkyries team where you're a 10-point favorite and you're on the road. It might be a little bit of a letdown spot. I didn't expect them to win. I'm not going to sit here and tell you that. But the plus 10 looked like a shit ton of points, especially with everything you guys have told me about their attendance and how much support they get. That kind of stuff matters, especially in a league where you might not have as many fans in the stands. Chicago.
Yeah, facts. Well, and like you mentioned, they're the number 1 team for attendance that was at home. And this Valkyries team is fun, man. You got a lot of players like Thornton. We got mentioned. She's really good. Veronica Burton is fantastic with the basketball in her hands. and a lot of players that maybe got cast away from other teams. So this is their opportunity, brand new franchise. They need to build around some superstars. They need to create superstars or draft them. And maybe these ladies are taking advantage of the opportunities. We talked about it yesterday too. Same logic with the Storm getting that victory. The Lynx. I mean, Nafisha Collier came out, like I said yesterday, which is nice to cap something and you have it happen, which is awesome. But I mean, she came out aggressive from the get-go. And I knew that was going to happen based upon how they lost that game to the Storm. And similar situation with the Liberty taking on the Fever. The Fever really needed to win that game for the Commissioner's Cup. Caitlin Clark was back and she looked fantastic. Got the job done too in that one.
14 though, that was fucking crazy. And then you got Sabrina with 32. You got Caitlin with 30 plus. Like,
7
these
threes.
ladies, these ladies are going at each other, chat. You know, you might get the odd game that isn't the best, but like we get blowouts in the NBA all the fucking time. We still have to watch the Charlotte Hornets play basketball, right?
Yeah. I mean, again, some people shit on it from like, but I'm saying seriously, some of the games are shit, but that's just par for the course when you're trying to build a league.
You know what I mean? Like, we had to watch the Panthers or the Lions go 0-16 one year, right? Like those things happened. It's part of sport.
I watched 17 Titans games last year. Talk to me about some bad sports.
Bad statistic.
Hey man,
you're gonna be rewarded this year.
I think so. Buy some Calvin Ridley stock with me, brother. I think he could be top 5 in the NFL this season for yards. But we got plenty of time to talk about that later.
You ready here first?
Yeah, you can listen to me. No one else on the channel likes listening to my Titans takes, but you like listening to.
I like the Titans, and I like it. I like supporting the homies teams, unless it's a team that I hate, aka the Lakers. I like supporting the homies teams.
Chat V is my ride and die with the Titans. If he will randomly text me sometimes during the season and say, "Hey, can I take the Titans today?" And I'm like, "Yes, you can." With me, let's go.
I bet it last week, but I'll bet it again.
I'll do it again. No, I do think in all seriousness though, Calvin Ridley, chat, buy some stock. He's going to be fun, really fun. He quietly had a great year last year on a terrible offense, and I think Cam Moore is going to cook this year, so I think he's going to be really good. But back to the dub. I'm excited about the Titans. One game today, 2 games, like I said. The next game, though, on the docket is the Dream, Padge's team, the Atlanta Dream, taking on the Washington Mystics, another team that's really fun to watch. If you guys have never watched any Mystics games, this team is also a really good young team, got a lot of energy, and they play really good basketball. 4.5-point favorites are the 3.5-point favorites now are the Dream on the road in Washington. I mean, I like Kiki very often. I've talked about her a lot. She's playing in this game. Didn't have a good game against the Dream when they played earlier this year. The Dream are pretty good down low defensively with Brittany Griner and Brianna Jones. So I don't love Kiki as much today. Chad, if you want to bet her, feel free to do so. She's in a good match. I mean, she's good, and I think she should get close to her PR, but I went a different direction. I'm riding with the Dream here. I like the spread. I think the Dream should win this game by 5 or 6, maybe even by 10 if they get away from them. But I love Brianna Jones in this matchup. Brianna Jones over 12.5 points, -115. Said this yesterday, chat. Sprinkle the double-double, like I talked about with Boston, like I talked about with Thornton. Brianna Jones, though, 12.5 points. I really like this play. I really wanted to take Griner because she has great success against the Mystics. But her playing time has been so bad, and she has just not been shooting the basketball. So if she has a good game, good for you, fantastic. But I don't have enough confidence to take it. However, I really like Brianna Jones. She's hit this line in 4 of her last 5 games. She hit it against the Washington Mystics when they played earlier this season. She had 16 points, and she had 10 rebounds in that game. The Mystics, like I said, #1 rebounding team in the WNBA, so they're very good on the glass. But Brianna Jones is very athletic, really, really solid forward in this league. You're going to learn more and more about her name as the season progresses. I like the points, though. You can take the PR if you would like. If you wanted to kind of rope in the rebounds, it's over 20.5. But I think that if she's getting 20.5 point PR, she's scoring probably 12 to 15 points. So I love the double-double for +210, though. That's going to definitely be in a lotto I put together after the show. So you're getting great value there. Really like her points. You take it up to 15 for some plus money as well.
Sweet.
Yeah. You got anything in this game that you like or any questions here?
No, not in this one. I want to ask you about the next game. So do you want to talk about a play first? Do you have anything in the Aces game?
Oh, yeah. I have a couple of things in this game that I like quite a bit. I'll set it up and we can kind of just gab about it, and I'll give some props that I like, and you can ask your questions. The Mercury coming in, taking on the Aces. No Asia Wilson today. She's still in concussion protocol, so Asia Wilson will be out for the Las Vegas Aces. Phoenix Mercury, though, getting their superstar player back. It looks like Kalia Copper is going to be returning for the Phoenix Mercury. You've still got Satu Sabali. Alyssa Thomas is also back in the lineup, too. So kind of some firepower returning for the Phoenix Mercury. Now we're going to get to see the full iteration of this team because Copper's been out since the start of the season. Alyssa Thomas has missed some time, so we're going to get to see the full three-headed monster that is Alyssa Thomas, Satu Sabally, and Kalia Copper for this Mercury team and how that kind of transpires on the road in Las Vegas. Vegas desperately needs to win this game for the Commissioner's Cup. They're looking like they might even not compete in this one. They're also been playing really poor to start the season at 5-4 right now, dude. 4.5-point dogs. They are at home. Over-under set at 164.5. I have quite a few props I like in this game. My favorite play of the entire slate is in this game. But what's your question first? Is it a side or a total or just kind of overall?
It was a side, actually. I think you kind of answered it. It was about the Aces, plus 4.5 points at home. I know they've been struggling a lot, like you said. They need a win tonight. I wasn't aware that A'ja Wilson is out. So that's why now I'm kind of seeing that the line is where it's at. And like the Mercury team that's finally fully healthy and looking like they're going to play together. And, they've got all their big guns. Whereas you're looking at a struggling Aces team that now just lost their best player. What is that going to look like? So I think that might be why the line's sitting at. I wanted to tap into the 4.5, but now I think I'm leaning the other way.
Yeah, I don't know if I have enough confidence yet to take the Mercury. I do like the Mercury, though. I think that's probably the right side here, especially with no Wilson. But the Aces still have pieces that can get the job done. They just haven't. They've been underperforming. But maybe this little spot where Wilson's going to be out for a few games allows the Jewel Lloyds, the Chelsea Grays, the Jackie Youngs to finally start cooking offensively because they've just been so lackluster to start the season. So maybe this, like, you got your superstar out. Ladies, you got to go in there. You got to cook. You got to. We need it. And it's like, I think maybe that could be a reason why that they get the job done in this game. But again, this Mercury team, they're fun, man. Satu Sabally is fantastic offensively. Alyssa Thomas has been great, especially when she's been facilitating. I'll talk about that in a second. And Kalia Copper, people forgot about Kalia Copper, but Kalia Copper is a hooper. I would say top 5 scorer in the WNBA when she gets rolling. She is a bucket getter. So it's going to be fun to watch these three ladies kind of navigate, figuring out the spacing on the court and playing with each other and all that jazz. So we'll kind of see how that works out in this game.
Play back one of these games one of these days.
Yeah, that would be fun. We could do that for sure.
Maybe when we get into the final gets closer and things like that, we can do some of these big games.
I watched most of that Liberty Fever game yesterday, and it was great basketball, man. It was such a good game. It's great watch. You got Caitlin Clark. Yeah. You got Caitlin Clark hitting logo threes. You got Ionescu cooking. It was great basketball. So it's definitely something we'll get involved with.
I got 2 props. Indiana, right?
Yeah, that's awesome. It was dope. I got 2 props in this last game, like you mentioned. I kind of lean Mercury too. So I don't if you want to take the 4.5, I don't hate that bet. But I'm just going to stick with the props in this game. Really like Alyssa Thomas, over 7.5 assists. Like I just mentioned, she's had double-digit assists since returning from that calf problem that she had. And you can't look – it's a little bit harder to find potential assists in the WNBA stats, which is something I hope that they continue to fix as people get more and more invested in the WNBA and following it and betting on it like you guys are. But her potentials are out the ass, dude. I know you're a big potential assist guy, you and myself. But that she is probably averaging 15 to 16 potential assists every single time she's on the court with this team. It's just a matter of whether or not the Mercury are knocking down their shots. I love the double-double sprinkle as well. It's plus 190. You can take the assist up to 10 if you would like for plus 275. She's also a good rebounder, but I don't think she's going to have to be as much of a rebounder for this team this season because of the big bodies that they have with Sabally and some other of those forwards and centers they have. So I think that her onus is going to be facilitating, and I like the 7.5 assists, and I do like the 10 plus for a sprinkle as well. But my favorite bet is on the Aces side, and it's partially because A'ja Wilson is out, but it's partially because, like I said, one of those 3 other superstar players is going to have to step up. But I'm taking Jackie Young, and I'm taking her rebounds. Now you can take her RA if you would like. It's a little bit. It's 9.5. It's 8.5 for minus 140. I just didn't want to drink the juice, and I wanted to take the 4.5 for plus money. Just hitting back-to-back games. She had 5 rebounds in their last game against the Wings. No Wilson in that game as well. And she had 8 in the game before that against the Sparks when Wilson ended up getting hurt in that one as well. But this is also about her success against the Mercury. Dating back to last season, she hit this line in 4 straight games against this team with 6, 8, 8, and 7 rebounds in this game. Willing rebounder. They're going to need her help on the glass as well with no Wilson. You need to have everybody kind of all hands on deck to get the job done. So I love the 4.5 for plus money. I love the 6+ for an even more higher plus money. I will definitely be putting this in some sort of lotto today. I think she has an opportunity to flirt with maybe a double-double as well, either assists, rebounds, or both. So I think she's going to be big today for this team. I don't know if it's going to mean that they win or not, but they, again, like you said, they desperately need to win this game if they want any chance to compete for the Commissioner's Cup. And today's kind of their last chance to get something going into the last little portion of this competition. So really like Young here. They also need to win. They just need some dubs. They just need to get the vibes right in that arena. It's going to be at home too. But the Mercury are no joke. So really like this play though. My favorite one of all the props I have today. So got any other things you
no,
go ahead.
I was just gonna say I like those props, and I'm slowly getting more into the props sides and stuff like that. It's a little bit of an easier read because pulling up team stats and looking at everything is a little bit of like a whole rather than stuff like that. But I've been tailing the props that you guys are putting out. So chat, help me get more surgical in the NBA by providing as much information like you guys have been. So this has been fantastic.
Yeah, it's fun to get invested. I feel like where you're at right now is where I was last season going into the WNBA. Like Inzi had kind of already got invested into it. He and I were kind of gabbing about it quite consistently, but I hadn't like properly bet it. So I was still kind of navigating, figuring out. And then, as you and I both talk about all the time in chat, you guys know this, the best way to properly bet games, in my opinion, is to watch the games. Because you can look at the stats all day long and you can look at this person's hit this time and that stuff. And yeah, the data is going to back the data, but to truly bet the game and feel good about it, especially if you're a ball knower, which chat, you guys are ball knowers, you watch the games because then you have a feeling, especially if you've played before, you're like, yeah, I feel good about this bet because this player is actually a good player, regardless of if it hits or not. You feel good about it from just knowing the game. So yeah. All right. We'll put a couple of those things in a parlay. We'll cook a parlay today for the vibes. Let's finish this off, though, man. I know you got a couple. I know you've been looking at the Diamond. Sunday Night Baseball a little bit later today. It's Father's Day, obviously. We did make a graphic, and I'll bring it up on the timeline. Or I'll bring it up right here. Happy Father's Day once again to all the fathers out there. If you're a father, you're dope. Go call your dad if you haven't called your dad already. This is one of my favorite father-son sports moments, maybe of all time. So thanks for all the dads out there. And shout out to my dad too. So let's go. Big dubs.
Big dubs. I was going to say, shout out to all the fathers in chat in our community. Obviously, NZ, Chef, but everybody else in chat. And we all know you guys, bunch of you guys have kids, and our community is the best. So happy Father's Day to you guys.
First father, Owen, let's go.
Owen.
First Father's Day, Asiatic said thank you. I'm assuming he's a dad. Let's go. We appreciate you guys for all you do. And all you guys, again, we talked about this a bunch, but, showing up, that's like 80% of the battle. And there's a lot of dads out there. There's a lot of parents out there in general that haven't done that throughout their child's life. So shout out to all you dads out there for showing up and being there. And then also shout out to the dads who have been there for all of us as well. Oh, yeah. Let's go, Ghost. All right, dude, what do you like on the Diamond today? And then we'll put together a parlay, and then we'll get out of here and let you guys enjoy the rest of your Sunday.
All right, I got one that's going to start here in 35 minutes, so we won't throw this one on the parlay, but it is plus Chicky. And we're going to Camden. We're going to Mike Trout, boys. He's got 7 home runs this year, just 7. He's been kind of struggling. He's been in and out of the lineup. It hasn't been the best for him, as always. But you know what he did last night? He hit a yak. He loves playing at Camden. In his career, 41 games, batting .263, 15 home runs, and 28 RBIs. Today, he's going to get a lefty, Cade Povich. Now, I don't know what you guys know about this guy, but he's not good at baseball. He has given up like almost 2 home runs per 9 to right-handed batters, and he has struggled this season at home. Look for Trout to get his first home run versus a lefty today. I am taking the over 1.5 total bases plus 145. SPJ, thank you for adding the banner because I always forget to do that. But plus 145 for the total bases on Mike Trout at Camden. And then next, after that, we are going to Sunday Night Baseball. Of course, going to Sunday Night Baseball. We've got the Giants and the Dodgers playing Game 3 of their first series that they've played against each other this season. Both teams are the number 1 and 2 teams in the NL West, and both games have been electric so far. In Game 1, Giants walked away with a very, very significant win. I think they won by 3 or 4 runs in that one on the road. Dodgers responded yesterday. Shohei hit 2 home runs. They scored 11 on the Giants, and they showed them that, hey, we're still a top dog in the NL West. So what am I doing? I'm going to Mr. Ohtani. I'm just taking his bases. It's juiced, but he's getting a lefty today. He's been fantastic against left-handed batters, and I'm taking the home run. You can take him up to 3 bases if you want to do that, but I really like Ohtani tonight, fresh off of 2 home runs. He was a little bit cold in that department for a little while, but now we're getting a spot here where you can get the over 1.5 at -125. It's not plus money like we got yesterday, but boys, his home run at plus 275, his bases at -125. Sunday night baseball on Father's Day. I'm pretty sure this is Ohtani's first Father's Day as a father too. If
Yep.
Correct me if I'm wrong.
No, you're right. Dad strength.
You know what I mean? That little dad strength, that little breakfast in bed he got today, it might just hit a little bit harder, right? So give me the bases. Let's throw this in the parlay and give me the yak.
I love it. I love it, man. Yeah, I'm down to ride Ohtani all the time. And especially like you said, first Father's Day, Sunday night baseball too, big lights. We're getting into the point of the MLB season too now where there's enough data for you to actually properly cap these batters. So I'm excited to jump into it in the next couple of weeks here. And also getting to the point where you're starting to know what teams are good, what teams are going to start to push to make the playoffs. And, we're getting into that portion of the 162 game season for the MLB, which is going to be it's a good time.
And the sun's out. It's summertime, Chad. This is when the ball is flying. You got a divisional matchup in the NL West between the top 2 NL West teams on Father's Day on Sunday. I don't know. It feels like some juiced balls might be in the house.
I hope so. For the dads. Can we get some juice balls for the dads? Come on.
Right? They probably got a Father's Day thing going on too at Dodger Stadium tonight, right? So
Surely.
let's have some fun. Bring out the good balls.
Bring them out. All right. So Ohtani, first leg of the parlay to finish off the day, which I'm absolutely down with. Let me just pull up the odds here that we're looking at. So let's see. We got Ohtani for 2 bags. WNBA. We've got you said Trout. We could do Trout if you want. What's up, Anthony?
We could do Trout. Yeah, I'm down. I just wasn't thinking we could get a graphic out in 30 minutes. That's why for everyone to tail. Starts at 10:35 or 12:35 Central.
Where's that Angels game? Why am I not finding it? Did I pass it? Who are they playing? Oh, the Orioles. Oh, I see. Yeah, all right. We'll leave it out then. Ooh. What do you think?
Freed's gonna definitely be. I'm pretty sure like a higher price. It's gonna cost you more, but it feels like a better matchup. Hancock's kind of struggled this season. They're going up against who is it? Just had it up here. Cleveland. Cleveland lost yesterday. I think Seattle's won the first 2 games too, so it might be a little like a spot where Cleveland comes out and swings the bat just a little bit harder. But who knows? I would go with Freed though. I don't know much about fantasy baseball though, so please take that with a grain of salt. That's about it. As I know as much about fantasy baseball as I do about Lewis Hamilton winning the Grand Prix today. So
you answered that pretty well, and even you used your knowledge of both pitchers to give a good answer. I'm not even going to get. I don't know. I'm not invested in baseball enough to know.
The Sox do strike out quite a bit, especially without Bregman in the lineup.
Word. Okay. All right. So Ohtani bases, 2 bases. In the dream game, the Dream and the Mystics, do you want to go with Brianna Jones points like I was talking about?
Yeah, I'm down to go with Brianna Jones. Okay. You want to throw in the Mercury money line? Like a little take me home piece at the end of the night? It's juice, but just should we fade the aces?
Yeah, I can get down with that. We can take the money line. I also want to put Jackie Young's rebounds in here too.
I'm down. I'm trying to get as saucy as you want, buddy. It's just the 2 of us on a Sunday.
Just the 2 of us. Hey, those 4 legs. It's not on my book patch. It's funny. Ohtani 2 bases, Brianna Jones 13 points, Jackie Young 5 boards, Mercury money line plus 791. Not bad.
That's not bad at all.
It does the job.
Yeah.
That's nice. Cool. All right. That's it. That's it. That's all. Great stuff, chat. Thanks for stopping by and hanging out with us today on the All Sauce team. We talked about a lot today. Lots of news, though. We kind of gabbed a little bit, which was fun. It's always nice when it's just the two of us. But we'll have producer Sook back on All Sauce team this week. V and I will be back with you guys tomorrow for Betspresso with Shaggy. We'll be talking all about Game 5 in the NBA Finals. We'll be gabbing about some other stuff that happened this weekend. Maybe V will be happy that Lewis Hamilton won the Canadian Grand Prix. We'll find out. And we shall see you guys there tomorrow. Feel free to subscribe to the channel right here on YouTube, on Twitch. Get involved with all of our content on X as well and all of our other social media outlets. And also go check us out at bettingnews.com for free sports betting information every single day for you guys for free. Couldn't do this without you. We appreciate you guys following, and hopefully we're helping you guys cash out and make some money and get better as bettors every single day. Go follow Vsauce at Vsauce right there with 3 A's. Go follow myself at Sweatpan Jesus. Go follow all of our incredible team. We really appreciate you guys. And appreciate how much you guys tune into our content and like to hang out with us and talk ball and talk sports and talk bets. Appreciate talking with you too, dude. It's always a pleasure. Dude, what do you got?
Absolute pleasure. And just because I forgot to say it at the top of the show, but shout out Trizzy for the free plus 250 coin on Kamaru Usman yesterday.
I was riding high, man, after hitting that parlay. And I texted Trizzy and he was like, fade me, dude. I haven't done well today. And I was like, no. We're the Usman is tucking us in. And did you watch that fight?
No, I didn't. I saw you guys tag. I told you I fell asleep early and drunk yesterday. But thank you, Trizzy, for the free plus 250 that I slept through.
He dominated him, man. Like it was sweat free. Well, the last 30 seconds of the last round, he was a little suspect. But I mean, he was like after the first two rounds, Usman was like minus 600 to win the fight. So at that point, I just went and sprinkled on Buckley just to make sure. But I mean, it was free cheese. Absolutely awesome stuff. Good stuff, man. Well, yeah, thanks, Trizzy. Thank you guys for tuning in yesterday. Thanks you guys for tuning into the show today. Hope you guys enjoyed. And again, happy Father's Day to you guys out there. Go out there and enjoy the day. If you're a father, hopefully you guys get to see your father if they live close to you, and hopefully your father is still with you. Have you called your dad yet? Talked to your dad?
I have. Yeah, I did. He's an early bird. It's talked to him this morning.
W son. Appreciate you guys. We'll be back tomorrow, like I said, for afternoon Betspresso. I'll be back tomorrow with you guys in the morning to talk your talk. So if you want to come and join the program, feel free to get involved with that at 12:30 Eastern tomorrow to join the show and tell me what you guys have. And we'll be back with you guys in the afternoon and the evening for afternoon Betspresso. You guys came for the winners and you stayed for the vibes. Have a fantastic Father's Day. Like I said, enjoy the rest of your Sunday, and we will catch you on the next one. Peace, chat.
What you know about rolling down in the down in the now I know y'all be loving this shit right here.